warm welcome to Shoot Already, the GBPRA podcast. I'm here with Ben Mcilwaine. Ben, do you want to just say hi?
Hi there, everyone.
That's great. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for joining us today. Shoot Already is brought to you by Boscobel Weapon Systems, manufacturers of the Bell Lock bipod. We're now into season 2, and this is the second episode of season 2, but the first podcast of 2023. So we're going to have to make it a special one, Ben.
Excellent.
I'm sure you're up for it. Ben, do you want to just introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, so my name's Ben Mcilwaine. I'm a PRS shooter and shooter of all sorts of stuff. Basically, my whole life I've shot, whether that's vermin control or competitive shooting or clay pigeon shooting, which was my main form of shooting for many, many years, and really my entrance into competition shooting in general before the PRS days in the UK. But yeah, that's sort of my shooting background. I've competed in various different teams regarding the shooting side of things, and I now just very recently have started a new job and am working in the shooting industry in the UK. So I started that new job as business development manager here at Edgar Brothers, where I am currently sat. I think that's the logo, that side. There we go. So that's been a big change to sort of my normal day-to-day. And before that, I was still at university doing my PhD or doctorate. So there's been a lot of change for me at the moment, but it's all been good. It's all been really engaging and interesting. And we've got some really exciting stuff coming forward to do with work. So yeah, thank you for having me on.
Well, yeah, no, it's a pleasure to have you here. And if anybody, I mean, you know, Ben, you're one of the more popular and familiar faces around the precision rifle circuit. But for anybody who's never met Ben before, Ben is a Team Great Britain shooter for precision rifle, competed in France in the summer just gone in the inaugural World Championships of Precision Rifle. And Ben was actually there when I shot my first precision rifle match a couple of years ago. And out of all of the top guys that were there at that match at that time, I'd have to say he's probably the most friendliest. Took a picture of me, so I'd have a little memento as well of my time at the match. And it really made me feel welcome. And that's something I always observe about you, Ben. You always make new shooters into the sport very welcome. So thank you for that.
No problem. On that point, I think it's really important because I myself as a shooter have been to other disciplines and being new to that discipline, and people sometimes don't even say hello, don't even acknowledge that you're there. And I think if we want to, build discipline and promote it and grow it, I think it's so important, let alone it just being a basic thing that I think everybody should do anyway. So
yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm 100% with you on that one. Now, Ben's just mentioned there that he's started a new job at Edgar Brothers, and 2 weeks, hasn't it, that was announced, Ben?
Yeah. So my connection.
Settling in okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. No, you're there. I was just asking, are you settling in okay?
Yeah, settling in absolutely fantastic. I mean, I was saying to the guys here that it just doesn't feel too different really, because the past 3 years or so I've been a team shooter within Edgar Brothers. So I mean, it's quite nice to start a job where you've known everybody for a couple of years. So it's been a quick settling in period. There's a lot to catch up with because Edgar Brothers do a range of different brands. And brands like Hornady, Schmeiser, Bushnell, Barrett, Daniel Defense. So getting up to speed with all these brands and all the products that each of these brands do is there's a lot to take in. So that's been really exciting and has kept me on my toes.
Yeah, great. And if any of our listeners haven't met you before at Precision Rifle Match, they may have met you before at an Edgar Brothers stand at one of the trade shows. If anybody wants a Hornady mug, go and see Ben. He's always handing them out like sweets. I was drinking coffee. I've actually got two of these. I was drinking coffee in one earlier, and now it's getting towards the afternoon. I'm drinking my lemonade out of it. But yeah, thanks for the mug, Ben.
They're actually quite nice mugs to drink from. I think it's a bit of a classic design or shape. So yeah, no, they're brilliant and very popular. But it's, you know, it's great doing those shows even before I started working here, because you get to meet so many different people with so many different interests. And I normally would be on the Hornady sort of display area and running reloading demonstrations and instructional classes, predominantly aimed at beginners and people that very commonly come up to the stall and say, you know, look, I've heard about reloading. I really want to get into reloading, but I've never done it. I've no idea how to, you know. So we're there, happy to help and try and get more people into reloading.
Great. So see you at the British Shooting Show mid-February.
Yeah. See you then.
Excellent. And you're, I think you're going to SHOT Show in Vegas before then, aren't you?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We are leaving the UK this Thursday coming. Excellent. So yeah, we're recording this on a Tuesday, so I'm not sure when you'll release the episode, but maybe I'm giving away some secrets. But anyway, yeah, we're heading over to Vegas on Thursday, so that'll be really exciting.
All right, good.
Be really good. It's something I've really wanted to go to for many years. So it's yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it should be an amazing trip for you. Well done, mate. So you mentioned about beginners there. At one point, you were a beginner. When did you get into shooting? What was your road to starting in precision rifle as well, mate? How did you get here?
Yeah, so I started with rifle shooting, air rifle shooting, as many people do in the UK at least. I think I was probably 5 or 6 years old when I started air rifle shooting. So my dad is a very experienced and accomplished competition rifle shot. Some people may know him, and he's also now recently a PRS shooter as of just about a year ago. So Dad got me into it and shot air rifles for a long time, and then got into hunter field target competitions as a junior. Won a load of medals and awards for that as a junior, and then I transitioned into clay pigeon shooting and really did that heavily for about 10-12 years. Shot in, you know, internationally in different countries, and that was really English sporting and FITASC and compact and stuff like that. Alongside that, I was also on the GB development pathway for 10-meter air pistol, the Olympic discipline indoors. So I did a bit of that, and then I almost transitioned from my sporting clays onto the Target Tokyo talent pathway. So I trialed for that and got through. So I could have gone for Olympic skeet or trap at the time. Decided to just stick for my sporting, and to really go for it as well. It's just so difficult financially. So so I decided to stick my sporting and keep on developing that and enjoying it. And you know, in between bits and bobs, lots of rifle shooting, long range rifle shooting, and a little bit of pistol as well. So I spend a lot of time in Northern Ireland, so we can have handguns over there. So I'm a member of a club over there. So we do pistol shooting there, both sort of target pistol, but also practical pistol. And then just as a couple of years ago, it's probably just over it's probably about 3.5 years ago, when the PRL was getting going. So met up with the guy that started that at the British Shooting Show, and then got into it through that. And then a couple of years later, here we are.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's quite a history and quite a broad breadth of different shooting disciplines that you've been involved in, and I guess still are involved in it to one degree or another. Precision rifle, though, you've stuck with that for a long time and been very precision rifle that stands apart from the other disciplines.
Could you repeat the question? Sorry, my connection just dropped.
Sorry, mate. It might be my connection, actually. What is it apart from other shooting disciplines, in your opinion?
What makes PRS, what sets PRS apart, was it?
Yeah.
I think the beauty of it, and it's a little bit like clay pigeon shooting in English sporting, is that you have a natural variation in the course of fire. Like English sporting, every stage is different, and you have the same in PRS. I think the beauty of PRS as well, in the same way as clay pigeon shooting, is that you get that instant feedback whether you've hit or missed the target. So unlike paper target shooting, you might have to wait for a spotter to mark the shot. And I think it's just how dynamic it is. It's very unforgiving in certain ways, which means it's a good test of marksmanship and shooting ability. And if it was dead easy, I don't think we'd be here. So it's that challenge that I really love.
Great. And I mean, you've really taken to that challenge. And last year you qualified for Team Great Britain, competed in factory division at the IPRF World Championships, and actually became a world champion. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So last August we had the World Championships, as you say. So Team GB went out there, gunning for top medals. So between our 4-man team, we had 2 on the podium and 1 in 4th position. Team GB came number 1 in the world, first place in the factory division. We did obviously well in other divisions as well, but it was great to go out there for the inaugural World Championships and take gold. And it was nice as well, because of the nuances behind the factory division. There's a lot of set rules to do with your rifle setup, and the idea is to promote factories towards a factory offering for the class. So there's a few peculiarities with that. So it was nice that we were all able to use a British rifle manufacturer to compete at that, which was Accuracy International ATX rifle. All 4 of us were using, and myself and another team member, we were borrowing them. And without that support, we would have struggled to be there and of course get gold. So that was really, really great. So thank you to AI for that. And
absolutely. And I mean, thanks to yourselves as well, because to move from the rifle that you're familiar with, you, Tom, and even for Lawrence and Mike, they were rifles that they hadn't been shooting for a very long time, and for you guys to pick up those rifles and perform so well with them was just testament to how accomplished you guys are as shooters. Yeah, no, thank you. It wasn't easy. I've been preparing for over 6 months with my standard rifle, which was the Daniel Defense Delta 5 Pro. Unfortunately, there's a clarification on the rules that they basically said that wasn't going to be allowed. So literally a month before heading out, I had to change rifle, and that included having to run it in, had to do load dev, had to get it all prepared, get used to the rifle, get the trigger set for me, etc., etc. So and Tom was the same, in a very, very similar boat. He had to change as well. He shoots a Tikka normally. So no, thank you for the compliment. It wasn't easy, but we went out there and did the best we could, and it all worked out in the end. Yeah, I remember seeing you over there in France, and I mean, all the guys. First of all, I'll mention the camaraderie on the team. It was just fantastic to see everybody coming together. And when one of the divisions or a couple of divisions were on their off day and you guys were shooting, and then you'd swap over, just the way the team were rallying around each other and pairing off and supporting and helping each other. But I'll never forget that look of concentration on your face in between some of your stages. It was just everybody was out there to win. Nobody was taking it lightly. It was a really competitive atmosphere. No, it was brilliant. I mean, these big competitions, they bring the best out of everybody, and you've got to be dialed in.
you've got to be there. You've got to be fighting for every single point. You know, I came in 3rd place overall. I was one point behind silver. Our own team member Lawrence Barnes did really well. He was I think about 15 points clear of that. You know, but considering, and then Tom was very close behind myself, only by a couple of points. I think it was 2 points maybe. So it was really tight. You know, you've got to be out there giving everything for every single point, and the conditions were quite warm as well. And as you say, when you're shooting one day, as we were, we kicked off the championships in our class, and then you know, when you shoot, then so when you're not shooting the second day, but you're supporting and you're out there in the heat still. I think day one with some of the delays, I think we were out on the range of almost 12 hours. You know, so it was really taxing. Really taxing. You had to be on your absolute best. So unfortunately, towards the end of the comp, so I had a bit of an equipment issue. I had to go re-zero, and by that time I'd lost quite a few points, which was a bit of a shame. But I was happy to be there, happy to get on the podium and contribute to that team goal for us, for Team GB.
Yeah, no, you did great, mate. Well done again. It wasn't you weren't the only Mcilwaine out there though, were you?
No. So as I mentioned earlier, Dad, or a lot of people know him as Daddy Mac, he was out there. So Dad's first PRS match, I think, was last February or March time. And with the World Championships in August, it was quite a close run thing. So I think he, if I'm correct, I think he only shot 2 qualification matches and managed to qualify in Seniors Open for Team GB. So
he came out of nowhere. He absolutely came out of nowhere and took it by storm, that qualification.
Yeah, no, he did really well, really well. It was great to see him do so well. And I mean, I've obviously shot with Dad my whole life. He's a very good rifle shot, very accomplished within the CSR world and other forms of rifle shooting as well. You know, Dad would be a consistent top 4, top 5 national CSR shooter. That's civilian service rifle, if people aren't aware. And Dad's been at the top of the CSR game for a long time now, so a good couple of years. So he's enjoyed giving PRS a go, getting into it. As he says, it's a young man's discipline. So sometimes it's a lot to take in for him, but he does brilliantly. And I think, if I'm right in thinking, he was either joint first or maybe first of the Team GB seniors when we went out there in the World Championships. So he did himself proud and did well.
Yeah, I'd have to go back over the notes just to see where he finished up, but he did put in an amazing performance at the Worlds, as he did through the qualification season beforehand. I mean, I was out there with my son, with Luca. Obviously, we were there, media perspective and whatnot. We weren't actually shooting, but it was just a nice experience to be there with my son. And I'm sure for yourself to be there with your dad, and for Duncan to be there with his son, you know, an even greater experience together. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It was brilliant, and just proud of him for doing so well.
Yeah. So the two of you going to go for the PR22 Worlds in Italy?
That's the plan.
Summer of this year.
Yeah. We both plan to. So obviously this August it's as you said, the first World Championships for the PRS22. So we both are planning to attend all the qualifiers for that. End of the day, we've got to be able to rock up at those qualifiers and qualify into the team. So we'll see how it all pans out, but fingers crossed we'll make it to Italy.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. It'd be great to see you both there again, and, you know, continuing to fly the flag for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. We've then got South Africa as well. South Africa's coming up in 2024. Factory division again for you?
Yeah, that's my current plan. Fingers crossed it ends up like that, and I'm able to again. So my light's flicking here for some reason.
That's okay. I think we've got a bit of a poor connection right now as well, so I don't know how the video is going to come out. Hopefully, it'll record okay. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I know we touched on, you know, the peculiarities of IPRF factory division compared to other series around the world, their factory divisions. And I know the IPRF are producing a very comprehensive list of factory rifles that will be permissible to qualify and to compete with. Have you figured out what factory rifle you're going to be shooting? Do you know what you'll be using going forward to make sure that you fit in the division?
To be confirmed for the moment.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Yeah. Well, have figured it out. I have a few options, but it's to be confirmed because for a few reasons. So
right.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. On that note, really frustratingly, I'm going to miss the first World Championships qualifier for South Africa, which will, you know, is obviously C2 Precision are holding that at Bisley. So Edgar Brothers are backing that and headlining that event, as that was the Hornady Hustle. So it's going to be the first World Championship qualifier at Bisley for PRS, which is really exciting. But unfortunately, I'm going to be away. I'm going to be overseas. I had a trip booked well before any idea of me coming to work here, or even any sort of sign of that being a World Championship qualifier was going to be happening. I think actually before even the date was booked. So it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the first one. So, but then it's quite relatively soon after we've got the first PRS UK series event.
Yeah, 2 weeks after.
So that'll be exciting as well. So that's obviously Andy Simpson, Trez, and James Bass, who do a brilliant thing at running the PRS series UK. And again, we'll be backing that from Edgar Brothers with Hornady as well.
Yeah,
and we just see it being really important to be able to support these events and promote shooting in the UK.
Yeah, that's great. It's great that Edgar Brothers are getting behind those two series. I know they gave the GBPRA a little bit of support in the past as well. It's just fantastic that they're supporting the shooters and supporting the sport of precision rifle. And just to mention about, you know, C2 Precision, Josh's match there, you know, he's done some sterling work there to bring along, you know, working along with some others as well to bring precision rifle to Bisley. And, you know, precision rifle shooting at Bisley, long may continue. You know, it's a fine venue for it, and being the national centre of shooting sports for the UK, there's no better place for it to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. I know a lot of people that have been waiting for PRS to come to Bisley. You know, I'm aware that there's some peculiarities at the moment because it's so early on in terms of, you know, needing to be, you know, you've got to be an experienced PRS guy or go on a training course, but you can sort of understand why, because, you know, if we want PRS to succeed, we've all got to be safe. And, you know, if you've never shot PRS before, off barricades, off wobbly barricades, or running around, you need to be, someone's got to be able to vouch for you that you're safe. So once those get ironed out, which they will do very, very quickly, you know, it's only going to, you know, hopefully go in one direction, because it's just, you know, for myself, home for me is 45 minutes from Bisley. So, you know, and so many other shooters are based around Bisley. So fingers crossed it, you know, it continues. I think the connection's died.
And I'm 4 hours away, but I still don't mind coming down to Bisley because the accommodation is. Are you there, Ben?
Sorry, I think the connection died a bit there.
Yeah, it did just dip out a little bit, didn't it? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Great. Yeah, I was just saying about, you know, you mentioned 45 minutes to Bisley. It's 4 hours for me, but I never mind the journey down to Bisley because you can make a weekend of it. There's so much accommodation, inexpensive accommodation on site. It's a good place to go and spend a night and socialise with people while you're down there.
Yeah, I think one of the guys from the GBPRA is sorted out some accommodation. I think it's coming to £3 a head, so pretty affordable.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's good when you can get a night's stay for that. bit more beer money.
Yeah.
I'm going to take an opportunity just quickly. I don't know what we're like for time, but I'm just going to take a quick opportunity to explain to our members, GBPRA members, that whilst you need to be a GBPRA member to enter onto our national leaderboard, and which includes your qualification for the Worlds, and we want to make sure that all precision rifle matches are open to our GBPRA members. Because of the unique situation that Ben mentioned down at Bisley, it is the case that you need to be either a C2 precision member or an NRA member with experience of shooting in a precision rifle match, or having gone through appropriate training to shoot a precision rifle match before you could actually shoot one of those matches. So while we want to see all matches available to GBPRA members, and technically they are, it may just be the case that where you are on your precision rifle journey right now means that now wouldn't be the right time to shoot one of those matches.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said earlier, it's just gonna, these are just early teething things that are gonna resolve very quickly. And if you've never shot PRS and you attend the training course, you're sorted. Assuming you've been, successful in the training course, that's done, out the way. You can attend every match at Bisley from then on. So
yeah, it's always safety first with these things, whenever firearms are involved. So I touched there quickly on qualification and national leaderboards. Now you're quite instrumental in our qualification season and in our national leaderboard from a technical perspective. Do you want to just explain why that is?
Yeah. So for the viewers, obviously you're referring to the plum scoring system. So I spent about 15 years in clay shooting, and during that entire time I spent every drive to and from a competition thinking, how could I improve this classification system? Because it's not ideal, it's not that great for clay pigeon shooting. When you're qualifying for an international team place, the qualification system is different to being just attending registered competitions. So, I've spent a lot of time working around numbers and statistics, and that's actually what my PhD was to do with artificial intelligence and the sort of statistics and coding behind applications of that. So I spend a lot of my time around numbers and trying to use them to solve problems in the real world. And one of those, certainly in the PRS world in the UK, was that the scoring system in the early days, pre-plum scoring system, was designed in a way, or utilized in a way that the result was that people being placed over the season, over multiple matches, the rankings at the end of the season were purely being determined by chance attendance and chance happenings at individual matches. It wasn't necessarily because someone has consistently shot well. It was more to do with, did one individual shoot really, really well on one day, and whether you attended that match or not. So what the plum scoring system does is it promotes fairness. So it uses a form of normalization, where it takes the average score of the top 20% of people competing, and it takes an average, and then you work out an adjusted percentage of that. So if you can do two mathematical sums, just working out a percentage, you can understand the plum scoring system. But all you need to know is that the foundations of the system are based around fairness, and trying to improve the old system that basically just wasn't fit for purpose. And at the end of a year's investment of competition shooting and trying to qualify for a national team place, you want to be placed with respect to how well you've shot and how well you've competed across that whole season, and not just randomness. So the system sort of takes into account those are the weather variations, how difficult the course of fire is, how well you've shot compared to the people that you are competing with across the whole season. And if it's a fair way of doing it, then we should be doing it.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether it's a 1-day match versus a 2-day match, whether it's a 80 round count versus 160 round count. The point is the system, the method normalizes all of the conditions and makes sure that results from one match are comparable and fair compared to another match.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you've always got to step back and say, is it better than that old system that we used to use? And it always is when you run the numbers. And the beauty, as you say, is that it's not onerous. You can take scores from one series, you can take scores from another series. And what the adjusted percentage is doing is just basically saying how well you have performed on a given day, on a given course of fire, in certain weather conditions. And it's an improved metric, a vastly improved metric of saying how well a shooter has done on that day. And it's the way to do it.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing that with the GBPRA. I mean, it was great that you gave us that. We used it to great effect across our 6 qualification matches at Orion Firearms Training in Wales, where we were shooting at one range, just the one range, 6 matches for the qualification season, but it still helped us normalize those results. When you think about one day we'd have been shooting in perfect conditions with hardly any wind, and another day we'd be shooting in absolutely torrential downpour, and you didn't know which way the wind was going at one moment to the next. And it's become even more important for us now in the UK, because for the 2023 qualification for South Africa in 2024, we're going to be utilising match scores from Bisley, C2 precision matches, from South Wales at Pro Shoot with the PRS UK matches, at a range yet to be announced. Could possibly be that we're back at Orion, but the GBPRA will be holding some qualification matches ourselves as well. And then we've got an agreement to host some qualification matches with Gardner's Guns up at Eskdale Muir, up in the borders of Scotland. Although we're still to announce the details around that. So you've got 4 different venues there across the course of 2023, from winter through to summer and then back into winter again, where conditions are going to be very different. Round counts are going to be different, 1 day versus 2 days, so on and so forth. And that scoring system should make sure that it doesn't matter whether you're shooting a match in Bisley or up at Eskdale Muir. We should be able to compare your results, whatever match you're shooting at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great. No, thanks for that, Ben. Massively appreciated it. Like I say, it certainly helped us out for getting the Great Britain team selected for 2022 in France.
Yeah, no problem at all. It's a joy really to be able to contribute something to help. We're not the only country that does it that way. So there are other countries out there. South Africa is an example. I believe that they use a similar system. They've independently come to that sort of way of doing it themselves. So yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we have a good qualification season this year, and may the best shooters attend the World Championships for us.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, you're still, along with your other teammates, you're still part of Team Great Britain until that 2023 selection season concludes. And good luck with making sure that you're still part of that team. Ben, I'm sure you'll have another good season.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm ending but I've still got a couple of things that I wanted to ask you about.
Far away.
Obviously, I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like to come back to Edgar Brothers if I can. Anything new and exciting on the horizon for Edgar Brothers in the shooting scene?
Yeah, so I started here on the 5th of December 2022, and it's just over a month now. And we've got some very exciting new brands launching. Brands, for example, Seekins Precision, who are a well-known American rifle brand. They do a lot of really good stuff with AR-15s in America, but also their bolt actions are renowned for being extremely high quality, very innovative, very just so well made. And so we've got them landing at the end of the month, ready for the British Shooting Show. We have recently started with AGT, or Airgun Technologies. So they're a well-known, established rifle brand from Czech. So we've started working with them, and again, they'll be at the British Shooting Show as well. For a little bit longer, we've also had Zermatt Arms, so they make the infamous Rimex action.
The
rimfire, which is I don't know, but it's probably the most popular 2.2 custom action out there for PRA.
As you know, I compete with the Vigara V14R, but I've tried one of the Rimexes in the past, and as much as I love my B14R, the Rimex it's a very nice rimfire rifle. You know, I can see why a lot of people are attracted to it.
They're beautiful. They're lovely to use, and it's a bit like a nice fancy sports car. If you set it up right and you treat it well and you maintain it, it will outperform yourself really as the shooter, which is always what you want whenever you're competing with anything. So we've had some, and of course they do centerfire actions as well, which we are stocking. So the push with that really is that we wanted to be able to help the UK market and help shooters in that, if you want to go and build a custom action, either the rifle builder has to invest a lot of money in holding onto stock of actions, or you as a shooter just got to wait for a specific purchase for a lone action or a couple of actions to come through, and you can wait 6 months to a year or more. So we want to be able to allow the UK shooter to say, I want a new custom action for an open category PRS rifle, for example. Well, we will be stocking that, options available from the TL3, which is a very well-known custom action, and you've got the other offerings as well. So yeah, we've got lots happening. It's all a go at the moment here. We have another brand which I can't unfortunately say at the moment, which is very exciting. So that will be at the British Shooting Show. So come along to the Edgar Brothers stand. You won't be able to miss it. Say hello as well. We love speaking to shooters. We love speaking to people that are interested in shooting, or maybe are just starting shooting and want to get into it. You want some advice on something, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Excellent, great. I'll be along.
Excellent.
I think that'll be the next time we get together. Actually, mate, I'll be along for a few more Hornady mugs.
Yeah.
And no, it'll be good to catch up. I don't think I'm going to make the C2 Precision match at Bisley. I don't think I'm going to have my rifle ready by then. I'm hoping I can make PRS UK's first match at the back end of February, which I think you said that you'd be there at as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I hope to be there as well. So what rifle are you waiting for?
Well, it's a little bit hush hush, mate. I can't mention anything about it.
Exciting.
So yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, I'm waiting to see. The honest answer is I don't know right now. I could.
The factory.
I could come along with the HMR, the B14 HMR that I've been shooting for the past season. But I'm on over 2,000 rounds on the barrel now. It's just got to that point now where I'm just thinking, if I want to keep it just for stalking, not have to worry about rebarreling it, I probably just need to. So I took a decision last year. I'm retiring it after the last match, which was the C2 precision match at Bisley, the test and learn match. And yeah, I don't want to take it to another precision rifle match. I want to just keep that for stalking now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see. I'm just looking down through my list. Have we covered everything now? Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about, Ben?
I think so. No, nothing in particular. It's lovely to be invited on the podcast and just have a nice relaxed chat about things. I think from my end, I'm very excited, and I guess this is why I've ended up working here, because I'm naturally passionate about shooting sports in general.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited to get a look at the new Seekins precision rifles. They should be really, really cool, particularly the Element, which is one of their hunting rifles that they do, and it's super lightweight. The short action rifle, again, I need to go and double check, but if it's not the lightest rifle on the market for hunting off the shelf, it'll be right up there. I have a feeling it comes under 6 pounds from factory in short action, but very, very exciting. So I'm looking forward to having a look at those and having a great British shooting show. And of course, Vegas on Thursday after SHOT in America. So I'm sure we'll see all sorts of interesting things out there as well.
Yeah. No doubt. I think what we might have to do, Ben, then is maybe in a few months' time, once the season's kickstarted, you've got a couple of matches under your belt, you've been to SHOT Show, we've had the British Shooting Show. Maybe it'd be good to get together again and give us a bit of update on everything.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to do so.
Yeah, maybe we'll get Duncan along with you as well, and we'll make it
we could do it too.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure as ever. Look forward to seeing you in February. Safe journey over to the States. Don't do anything I wouldn't do while you're over there. There's not a lot I wouldn't do. And yeah, great, mate. All the best.
Thank you very much. Great to chat to you.